Alhamdulillah, wahda wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. Insha'Allah, in our series Creed of the Rightly Guided, we will be doing our next aqidah, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sustains without any effort. He sustains without any effort. If we want to sustain and support our families, we have to education, work, buy grocery, clean it up, cook, right? Or, get a place to live, buy a car, phone, bills, right? So, maintenance, it requires effort, right? Different ways, but effort is required. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He sustains, He does not need to make any effort because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all powerful. For Him, everything is same. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. There is no creation on earth whose sustenance is not taken by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Hud verse 6. So it is not only human, but rather every creation that we see or we don't see, whether we know about them, whether we don't know about them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one alone sustaining everything in the world. What is the meaning of risk? Because it says, so risk, ulama, they tell us it means the necessities of life. It is not just the food, but rather everything that we need, our health or means of living and, covering ourselves. Every single necessity of life is risk. This tells us that whenever we need anything, we should always turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not only when we are going through financial difficulties, however, any aspect, anything that comes in mind that we need, we should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A question comes, and that is, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken responsibility for sustenance, then how come people are dying out of hunger? How come they're not receiving sustenance? How come people have no food? People are struggling, right? People have no water, no clean water, no proper food. They don't have sustenance, right? They are in severe need, and no one's giving it to them, no one's presenting it to them. So how is that possible? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took responsibility, then how come He's not getting the job done? So the answer is, number one answer is everyone's sustenance is different. Means sustenance doesn't mean that definitely guaranteed we will receive. Means it could be. Let's just take an example. We work in a company. The person who's a director, his salary is, let's say, 5,000 a month. The person who's working under the director, let's just say just a person who's working on the desk, his salary is 2,000. So they both are getting a salary. However, their salary is different. Similarly, sustenance doesn't mean everyone, his sustenance is going to be same. The ones who are not receiving, who are hungry, unfortunately, of course, we want everyone to be in the best, and we want everyone to receive the best. However, for them, it was decreed and decided that their sustenance is going to be less. So they are still receiving the sustenance that is decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are just unaware of that. And the answer is because the test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells in the Quran, clearly, He will test us with hunger. It's one of the tests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that what will you do? When we are hungry, are we going to turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be patient? Or are we going to forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And the answer is, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does this as a punishment. Just like sometimes parents will tell the children, you did bad, you're not going to eat until you finish your work. Kid is hungry, crying. No, you're not getting it until I see the job done. So it could be na'udhu billah, Allah protect, could be a punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it could be, and some ulama have written that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have decided the sustenance. However, Allah has decreed that the mankind, they are responsible to provide others. Just like, the person with authority in the house, or the people, the elders, they work for the children, right? So it is our job to make sure everyone receives it. So we should not be hoarding and being lazy, but rather, alhamdulillah, I'm sustained, I need to take, and also make sure that the ones who don't have, they receive as well. So these are the few answers that ulama have given on the question that how come people are dying out of hunger. So the quick summary, inshallah, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sustains the entire creation without any effort, and sustenance in this world is different for everyone, so we cannot judge everyone in the same manner. Everyone is different. Their sustenance is different. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what their sustenance. However, everyone does receive whatever is decreed for them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the correct understanding. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to convey the message of Islam. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanallah bihamdik, nashadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.